Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my 11th live streaming. All the topics, trends, and things I find interesting, witness the evolving technology in an art, the age of AI, how our life changes. If you're new here, my name is Paris. Welcome. I started really enjoying this session here. Either it's half an hour or 1 hour. I really enjoy the conversation. I want you guys to not feeling shy to comment the chat if you have any thoughts, because that's what I'm doing live streaming for. Is I don't want to edit the video. I'm more like a raw material and things that's really in my mind. And what's in my mind for the past 1 week, I've actually read so many articles, things, and developing these 100 shorts videos. Also, a lot of side jobs, works, a lot of things going on. That to come here, talk about what matters to me, it's really make me feel more focused. Today, my topic I choose is why the AI era needs creative entrepreneurs. If you don't know, 10 years ago, now when I'm checking my YouTube channel, 2016, around 2015, 2016, I was obsessive filming artist. That's when I first trying to use my own camera, my own time, and then go visit artist studio in Toronto, and then film some of them in Montreal. I travel there, I want to meet them, and then I take videos for them. I try to make it a little bit more promotional and more fun. So this is all the 100 videos I've done, which is really fun now. And think about it, it's how I started the channel, and I stopped after I filmed 100 of them. Why I mention this is at the moment when I started to film artists in Canada, there are actually a lot of artists that I filmed really against technology. I remember there's one artist who painted poster, and then he hated the fact that I used Photoshop at the end to turn one of my image, the frame, into like his painting style, like a painting of a film frame. I still remember that. And then now I think about it, I totally understand why he hated it. Now I can see maybe more artists are frustrated about AI. So in my channel, I really wanted to more like make people or creative people more understanding the privilege or the advantage of using the new technology, because it has been, because of new technology evolving and because of AI, there are actually so many ways to use it to make yourself, like, for example, for me, AI has definitely opened up my mind a lot more, giving me more different perspective, because I constantly ask AI to argue with me. If I have these thoughts in my mind, I'll ask AI to argue with me on this perspective. Is there any other perspective you want to argue with me? Please show me the evidence. Please argue with me. And I have like this whole conversation with AI, which is, for me, there is no way you can do it before. So that's something that I want to share with you. Also, I remember, so how I started my own business, also because my husband is doing website. He's making website on the side, and then I'm making promotional material for artists. And then when we combine our skill together, that's how we're making creative, like promotional material for artists. And then that moment, I realized artists start to realize their job is not just producing work anymore, producing art anymore. It's like so much more than just making art pieces. You have to know how to make yourself almost like become a business person as well, which is not many artists can do. But in this AI era, I also almost think you even have to expand more of your ability to be the entrepreneur, not just a business person. You have to be able to create a whole system, which can be an advantage. think about it in a positive way. So yeah, I want to dive deep into that concept, this idea that I have. I think it's a, like, in my mind, this is not a bad thing at all. And then this is also very exciting. For example, I saw this really trending Instagram. It's in Chinese, but I will explain. So basically it was saying a while ago, the people who study art, sociology, which is me, philosophy, writing, all these courses, the major, people, it's really hard for people to find job. And the computer science, engineer, all this job like economics, finance, all these majors, very easy to find job after graduate. But as AI start to have more ability to for people to live in this age, the most important thing is actually for people to understand human, for people to have better understanding, better communication skill, which we talk about so many times in this channel, the storytelling skill, the way to connect with other people, the way to choose the judgment, to figure out what kind of content worth talking about. And then because if AI can generate so many words and images in 1 second, what is the thing that worth staying on the internet? What make the things unreplaceable? And then the person who giving like the human taste, what they call it here, become rare. So if a company doesn't understand people, just using AI to create like promotional materials, marketing, they will look professional, but they may not hit people's heart, touch people's heart. And then most people will feel tired about everything they see, which is really true. It's already, we can see something's happening. Today I was looking at one of the, they said in China, like they start to have very trendy animal AI generated content that goes viral. Then right away I start to ask, is that true it goes viral? Or is like a promoting material says it's going viral and people obsessed with it? I'm not really sure, because right now how I train myself with this taste training course and then the taste development, I start to notice a lot of patterns. I start to question more when I see things online. So actually, like, I feel like I developed a really good system to not being brainwashed easily. I truly believe the creative people, most of the creative people, artists are usually, they're trained to see patterns. They are easy to connect ideas, and they are better at understanding culture, and they're better at building narrative and stories because they understand deep inside, like almost like they can see different perspective than a lot of people. That's why I always like to film artists. I would always love to go to their studio, ask questions, what they do, because they have like a different sensibility to the world. And before, you always have to focus on how to develop that world, the result. You have to show the result to the world. That's how artists show their world. But right now, it's more like people care a lot about the thoughts, the process, the more human side of artists. Instead of just seeing a masterpiece, they want to know what's the story, and then why do you create things like that? What's the like, instead of not just marketing, in my mind, it's more about how artists really dive into their world, and then they're exhibiting, they're showing their whole world to everyone, to their fans. So I believe every artist or creative people, if you have an idea and you wanted to show to the world, you need to be a storyteller, a product designer, a brand builder, and a community leader. May sound a little bit tricky, but I think a lot of these skills For example, taste, how you curate your idea, the aesthetic direction that you have, which is really unique for everyone. And then storytelling, why something is matter for you, why it could be matter for other people. Position, what makes your work unique. The distribution is what kind of platforms. A lot of artists maybe have their own specific way to show their work, and then they attract certain audience. They know exactly who they're attracting. I saw an artist, I forgot her name, but I've been like watching her YouTube. I want to find it on Instagram. It's really fascinating artist I've been watching really lately. What's her name? Sophia Isola, is that her name? Yeah. Like I see Patti Smith in her, and I also think she's like 20 years old, but her vibe and then the way she dressed herself and then the way she sang, it's just so fascinating, like so artsy. It's not like I never seen someone like that before. Like I mentioned, I feel like she almost connect with a lot of rock star not long time ago, but it's also another layer of like younger generation today, how the lyrics she sings, like very empowering. I'm not agree 100% with her. I'm just simply talking about her presentation of herself. It's just so raw and like fascinating. I think that kind of character attracts a lot of people now online. When you're an artist, if you're just being so perfectionist with your outcome, the work you want to produce, and you forgot how you like present yourself, that's probably something you need to develop. Also, that's another topic I was arguing with ChatGPT and Gemini myself, and also a lot of video I've been watching is about how nowadays we have to dig out and make a character of a different us, like almost like we're presenting someone else. And is that the true self that we want to present? We're not sure. It doesn't really matter for me at this moment. To be honest, if you don't want it to present or create a character of yourself online, that's totally fine. But if you want to take advantage of technology, AI, social media, and then be like almost like creating a character for the sake of attracting certain people to your art, I think it's totally worth it. I don't know about your thought, but that's what I think. For example, like I saw the other day, Virgil Abloh. Forgive me if my pronunciation is bad. I'm like very bad. Pronouncing name is not my advantage. He had this website right now. You can apply to get into whole archive of his works. And then I talked about him, the director of Off-White, right? I know Off-White because it's really popular in Tokyo right now, in Japan. And then I started to read more about his work. He already passed away, sadly, but he has whole archive you can apply to. If you're a student or emerging creatives, send me the archive toolkit. Like you can sign up and get your archive toolkit. But what I mean is, I always remember, so this is Virgil, and then he had this really famous quote, everything I do is for me, for the 17-year-old version of myself. So the reason, there's the why behind his work is that he wanted to create for the 17-year-old of himself. That's a pretty powerful reason. And people drawn to those kind of unique reasons, even though I think Off-White, like generally speaking, it's a really quite normal streetwear if you just look at the work. What I'm trying to say here is your work can... Okay, this is also my biggest struggle since I started my own business. I always thought I'm torn between this being artistic and being perfectionist, and then to the business side of myself. Because before I always tell myself, let the work speak for itself. I have to let the work speak for itself. People can judge if this work is good or not. They will like my work because I'm pouring my heart into it. But then the business side of myself, seeing a lot of business entrepreneur speaking out loud about their work, even though maybe the work itself is not even fully developed yet. It's just like just a simple seed of idea, but they can make it sound like people want to invest money into it. So this gap in between the being artist, perfectionist, and I really show this work of myself and want to show people, and then this business side of me struggling to try to get people to believe in my idea or believe in my work. It's just always been a struggle. But one point I start to realize there's a thing you can tell yourself, which is pretty true. I forgot where I see it or just come up from my own mind. The eager to let people believe that your work speaks for itself is a lot of ego talk, because you believe your work can speak for itself. But on the internet, not many people have the time to dive into your work like more than 5 seconds, because the span, like the attention span is so short. So that's why I feel like a lot of artists right now, or creative people, you have to figure out a way to sell your idea, like grow this world within yourself, using the platform, using AI, using social media to like this product thinking, turning ideas into something scalable. That's like a lot of entrepreneurs do. The question I find, like I ask myself, is if you're creative today, would you rather work for someone else's vision or build your own world? That's like a really good question to ask yourself. If you wanted to just work for someone else's vision, that which is okay, but then that means you're not showing your full world to everyone, to have your own world to share with everyone. Entrepreneurship is just creative freedom with responsibility. So instead of drowning into your own world in the art, you gotta have responsible to what you are creating. That's simple. And the future creative is not just artists, they're tastemaker, they're storyteller, they're builders, and the ones who learn this early will shape the culture. I actually see some of the people that I work with, and I start to see people post a lot of things online. I really like how they're telling their own story. They're artists, but they're sharing the behind the scene and share their own perspective about how, like, what's their childhood memory, how they're creating their unique word perspective. Like, I think that's really important. You have to show what matters. Hello, how are you? Yay, people come talk to me. I just saw the live chat. I hope you're not leaving yet. Yeah, so I want to see more people find your unique voice and then develop that aesthetic language, that philosophy, the visual world, which is process, community, which is your vision, and then business structure, marketing strategy, and distribution. If you get all these, trust me, you can with the help with AI. I understand how AI, especially the language model, is made. It could be just giving you a lot of general answers, but if you dive deep and then keep feeding, where I'm from, I was born in China, and then I lived in Canada, have my university for almost 20 years, and now I'm in Japan. Where are you from? This question for me is always like a little bit hard to answer. So I'm like mixed culture person. It's hard to say I'm like from one place, but I'm currently living in Japan. Yeah. What about you? So yeah, if you're artist, please share your link. Like, I'd like to see what the work you do, or what kind of, you don't even have to create anything. Maybe your Instagram or any kind of social media. I want people to connect in here, my live streaming, and then talk about how creativity, how people like share their creative worlds is changing because of AI. I definitely see a shift here recently. And also they're saying a lot of on short video, like on TikTok and Instagram, people start to get sick of like fast editing, a lot of images, a lot of like flashing words, images, because people are kind of get tired of all these visuals. Maybe the quiet depth is more important nowadays. People have more, if you want to share your work, give more depth of your work, like more your personal stories, personal understanding of the things you care about, and then you open up that world to a lot of people. I see a lot of those kind of contents are getting more attraction recently. So I guess that's something that every designer, creatives can dive into. And I also read this article. I'm not fully read it yet. I love sociology because that's my major. So I like reading articles that's like a philosophy, sociology kind of article. But this one is a little bit too repetitive. But this article, I have the link here. If you're interested, please go take a look. It's basically talking about what considered as interesting. So when people talk about, or when they see things that they feel interesting, it's a lot of them because it's outside the norm, or it's like not agree with majority. So when you see things online, or the art that you look at, or the books or articles that you read, you find, oh, this person have a perspective or a vision or a worldview that's so different than mine, or is so different than whatever I've already heard. You right away think those are interesting people. The interesting word they're saying, like, confirm what audience already believes. Audience responds with, that's obvious, or of course that's not interesting. That's a theory. And attack the routinized, taken for granted world of everyday life, make audience sit up and take notice by showing what seems to be true is actually something else. And then that moment, I think this article was like a pretty long time ago. They don't really talk about algorithm or how internet is like promoting content. And then the algorithm always showing you the work that kind of agree on the same worldview of what you already know. But somehow I think the algorithm already trained our brain into this hard to find, like easy to find something interesting is nothing to challenge your brain. It's like, because the algorithms keep feeding you the same thing. That's why I think AI somehow helps this way. Because if you use AI correctly, using as a tool, either as a tool or develop your own agent, or find your way to talk in a specific way to open up your mind or perspective, is actually very useful. Because instead of keep scrolling, you notice the pattern, and then you can even feed to AI and be like, this is the thing I'm interested this week. Why I'm interested in this? What can I apply to my own work? Like those kind of system, I'm constantly doing recently, because you can also get a better understanding of your inner world, and also with the help of statistics. So it's like combination of feelings and the artsy feelings, and you drawn into your own world with some analytic statistics, and can help you to figure out something that you don't even know. I find that's really helpful. It's just my way of like working with AI at this moment. But I know a lot of people actually using AI to create, to make apps, or a lot of really interesting stuff. to me, I'm not 100% sure what I want to create yet, but that's in the back of my mind. And one day I wanted to build something based on what I care about. But at this moment, I really, truly care about taste development, which I'm obsessed with every video or books and the things that I'm reading. I'm like, come back to this topic, and I find myself like too obsessed recently. For example, there's one YouTube video.
There, you're looking at something from this direction. You're looking
So this guy is the co-founder of Arena, ARE.NA. It's this platform that you can like save a lot of good content. It's like curating platform, which I like it pretty much. And then he was talking about a lot of things that he talked in this episode. It's really long episode. I'm not gonna show you a lot of talking, but I like this one part he was saying. First of all, he was really denying the fact that taste is something even to mention. What did he say? He's more like saying like taste is such a personal thing. Like a lot of people think. I have like this whole conversation in my mind, and I really not argue, but I wanted to like find my core belief that after watching his video, I'll show you some of the part I find is pretty interesting. Let me know what you think. This is another book I'm reading. It's all about taste. 1 minute 23, I think.
Obviously, so much of this is about attention, and I think really what the piece is about, loving attention, right? I was also thinking there was some kind of brief line you just said, we have to pick which things we give our attention to. There's a finiteness about human attention, and it's hard not to think about that in the context of like this other form of intelligence where we've created, which the whole feature and bug of it is that it has infinite attention, basically.
Yeah.
There's this quote you have about it that prompted something for me, which is, if you're really focusing on the moment, on something you love, on something in the world that feels like it's made for you, you can't be thinking about how it will benefit you or how it will reflect back on you. We were just talking about this. These two modes are at odds with each other. True attention requires that you don't view something in the world through the lens of what can this thing do for me.
Yeah.
And I have a couple questions on this, but my first is, can you fake it till you make it on this front? Meaning, like, can you be a poser around it and then end up loving it?
Yes, I totally believe that. That's why I'm a poser apologist. Yeah. Because I think like if you find yourself wanting so hard to associate yourself with an idea, then that means something.
There's some radar happening.
Yeah. And if you're willing to sort of like be vulnerable to like maintain that position, like that's also very important. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So in this episode, there are actually a lot of points I don't agree, and please go watch yourself, and then we can talk about, maybe discuss in another episode. He has so many points I feel like it's contradicts. He was talking about taste is not competitive. Yeah, you cannot compete with each other about taste because that's not a skill to compete with. Maybe not before, but somehow I think it's not about competition. It's more about how you develop your certain taste that, like, not everyone else judging is good or bad. It's not about your ego. I feel like a long time ago, like, because all the books, and then when I think back of when I talk about, oh, this is kind of music I like, and I want to show, for some people would like to show that they love classical music. That's a perfect example for some people to think, oh, you have really good taste, but do they really sit at home and listen a lot of classical music? I'm not sure. Again, like, when you talk about taste, sometimes it involves a lot about ego, and like when he was talking about true attention requires you don't view something through the lens of what can this thing do to you. So you really love something, why don't you turn what you love, you pay attention to that thing come back into the work that you're creating, but without how to do it without the ego. You know what I mean? That's something that I've been struggling, try to digest, and I try to like think about it myself. There are so many interesting articles and things about that recently. Like also this one, the contemplation of building a personal brand while craving a digital detox. I think a lot of people are struggling so bad right now. At one side, they know how important it is to show up online. And especially at this moment, at this period of time, it is so important to speak out. Like talk about your ideas. Even if it's a bad idea, it's better than not to talk about it. Because the world needs more point of views, need more people to speak out, because AI bring down the bar of like how you were educated since you were a kid, or you're educated as elite taste, and only people who has money grow up, graduate in a really amazing university, and then they had ability to like having better job. Because of AI, I think that's this whole system is kind of messed up. Is it good or bad? I'm not sure. But at this very moment, a lot of people think it's too overwhelming online with too many fake things, too many people speak out, too many loud voices, and they prefer just to delete all social media and go like digital detox, which is a word I'm not 100% agree with. Because I don't really think it's not really good to avoid it. You can have like 1 day or 2 in a week. I don't really have the privilege to do that, but if you do, then yeah, maybe it's good for your brain. That's for sure. You can have your meditative time. But personal brand is definitely built on whatever you create, whatever you care about, what kind of thing you curated online. Curation is such an important thing to do right now. So I do think either your ego want you to create artwork, or you're truly passionate about something that you don't really care. Like you don't really care if someone look at it or not. Either this way, it doesn't matter. If you want to have a career, again, go back to what we talk about. The question, do you want to work for someone else's vision, or you want to build your own world? For me, I always wanted to build my own world. It's a tough road to be honest. I'm not denying it. It always has been tough, but it's also very fulfilling. It's very fun to speak out your own opinion, even they're just like 1 or 2 people in the world that agree with you, or the people just getting more and more people start to agree with you. It doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, whatever you believe in, it's based on, again, this development of taste goes back to your own memory, the way you grow up, the things you care and stop to see is very different than other people stop see. But that may lead in the future, we will have small community, not like a super viral thing eventually, because everyone maybe find their own little community and then they care about what each other is talking about. That's not a bad thing, but maybe again, the system is changing, but anyway, it's changing anyway. So there's so many changes will happen in the near future. That's for sure. I want to be here to witness what is changing in the future. For example, another thing I was like thinking about is the other day I went to a networking event. Do you know a lot of companies right now are doing space mining? Have you ever heard this word? I was pretty shocked and like puzzled to hear a word like this. I just met a really interesting lady. She says she's in space mining industry, and I was like, space mining become an industry, and it's just so interesting. So I was like fascinated about the fact. I checked her company. So that is something haven't fully existed yet, right? So it's not like It's literally just an idea. Maybe some people obsessed with the idea, and then they can see the future of people living in the space. So there are a lot of investors actually invest money into this. And then her job is connecting investor with people who actually doing space mining business. If you have idea about how to grow the space economy, and then you have like maybe certain idea or projects you're doing, I think her job is to connect investor to those people. What I'm saying is, have you ever, like, I can't even believe that this space mining economy exists. Still means there are so many things in this world right now, maybe especially for the investor with a lot of like richer people out there, they're creating a lot of stuff that we don't even know. They are throwing money into so many different kind of industries. AI plus blah blah. It's all connected to AI. And then I personally work with a lot of AI fashion styling, AI fashion industry. They also, I think there's a big room to grow because the technology is still evolving. So I do see so much hope for creative people in the future. You don't have to create a whole system for yourself if that's really difficult at this moment, but just keep in mind, the world is no longer the vision like this. There's like keep expanding. So much things are growing, expanding. So we have to believe there's like a future for everyone. There's, especially for creative people, if you have better communication skill, if you have really good, you're really good at connecting dots, or you're simply really good at connecting people, or you have this specific visual that you want us to share with everyone, like there's room for everyone. Again, I still believe that's the fact. And the last thing I want to share is this. I'm still really fascinated about magazine, even though I can get so much online information to see a lot of amazing works online. But there's something about magazine I can't give up. And especially for photography, I particularly bought this magazine this week just to understand why, like, it's so different feeling of flipping the page and look at artist work that have an interview and story behind it. It's so much different than reading or like seeing a photography online. You know, it's like quite fascinating fact. Oh, I have this, like for example, this beautiful like image of a lady under the ocean. If you just look at a photo, yeah, it's quite beautiful. Like some people maybe say you can like make tons of images like this with AI. But the story behind this is this journalist. Her job was a journalist. She changed her job into photographer by accident because she traveled around the world, and then she also started to go to like on a hot day, South Australians flock to the coast, and many spend time at the end of the jetty. Family, friends meet to play and leap from the tall structures, escaping the heat. I flock out into deep water under the jetty and watch and wait. I will dive and stay down as long as my breath allows, watching for swimmers above me as they bust through the surface. I will do this all day. Conditions permitting, it can become exhausting with a mask on. It is not easy to tell if I'm pointing in the right direction. Shooting film, there's no way of knowing if I'm successful at the time. I find something meditative about not being sure of what I have. So there's a whole story of her creating this work. It gave so much depth into the artist. So something about it, no? I mean, no matter how amazing the AI is developing, I don't think books or magazines will disappear because people still waiting to see something that is curated. How this magazine, how they choose photographer, what kind of artists they wanted to share to the world. It's like also very fascinating. So maybe if your skill is like to curating, one of my dream when I was kid maybe is to create magazine. So when I using this format, live streaming every week, to share the things I curated that I care about and I want to hopefully make it more into a topic. Sometimes I give up. I don't even try to make a topic. It's really just bits and information and things, little emotions I feel during the week, and I just want to curate it in a way, hopefully to resonate with some of you, and then we can have a good conversation, and then maybe that will evoke some of kind of inspiration for you. Maybe you want to curate some kind of magazine like this. There are so many tools to help you to develop that as well. There's like a couple of them, like Arena is one of them, and the Sublime app is really good. And then there's like I think today I saw another one called Mori. Is it Mori? No, that's museum. I have to I'll talk about, I have to find it. Oh no, here it's right here. No, that's not. I forgot. It's a new Google tool that help you make you like curating your own idea development, and then you can collect those things. And then there are a lot of people like start to talk about how to journaling. People need more. Like I have so many notebooks, like here and there I have like tons of notebooks. This notebook is all about how I think about the development of taste. So I have everything written here. Sometimes I literally argue with myself on my notebook. I feel like a crazy person. And then this is something I already finished one. I started to do in the morning. I just write down a lot of things in my mind, and then to try to focus and say what kind of thing I want to feel today. And then if I watch or if I read the article, I like some kind of image, I'll write notes about it. So there's so many different ways to make myself not like more focused. Otherwise, I'm going all over the place. Anyway, so this is this week's topic I wanted to discuss. I hope it's something that you may be interested, or if you wanted to look back, I have the link underneath my video. And yeah, that's it for the topic. And I'm really happy you're here. And I don't know, this person disappeared. Asked me 2 questions and left. Anyway, well, I will hopefully see you next week. I will try to curate more interesting topic, but it's really about what happening that week and what resonate with me that week. And I hope you enjoy it. And then I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.